Hey, everybody. Welcome back to my podcast. My name is Jim. You guys know that by now, hopefully. So, I had my first podcast last Monday. It came out. I think I've had one download. I think I've had 12 views on YouTube. And I don't know exactly how much time has been watched, but it was a 15-minute podcast. And I guess about an hour's worth has been watched. So, what I'm going to continue to do is these 15-minute podcasts to get things kind of going. At any rate, uh, I don't have my studio completely set up. As you can see, you're looking at something that's not really going to be in the background in the future. I've got the table pretty much done. We've mounted some things, done some things. If you check out my channel, What Dugan Thinks on YouTube, you will see video there at some point of the completed project. But it's coming along. I've just got to wait for one more tool to come in. I got to drill some holes and get the cords all managed because I'm anal retentive as crap, and that's what we got to do. But that's not the topic of the podcast today. Today we're talking about basically clones with knives for the most part, and some guns I'm going to bring into the topic. And my thought processes on this may vary from others. And by the way, I'm sorry if there's any noise coming in from other avenues. Still don't have all this figured out yet. Sorry. My laptop decides to send me advertisements whenever in the hell it feels like. But at any rate, long story short, let's talk about Benchmade. Fuck them, basically, is where I'm at with that. They are the most overpriced knife in the world, as far as I'm concerned, especially after this last knife came out that was the ultralight bug out or whatever they call it. I can't even remember now, but over 500 and some odd dollars for that stupid knife. I got into knives about 20 years ago. Microtech was already around, and as far as the world went, they were the best, US knife to buy. And when they were up around the prices of what it would cost for a decent handgun, I was like, nah. But I did break down and buy one, loved it, lost it. So it went bye bye. Replaced it a few years later, and I've got a couple more. I believe in buying name brand knives, don't get me wrong. But when a company just gouges the living crap out of you in terms of a price for what they provide is total BS. And they're it. Tag, you are it. I've heard other creators talk about you, and I hope you see this, but you're overpriced for what you got. So I buy the generics, the knockoffs, the copies, whatever you want to call them. I have bought probably 10 or 15 bug outs, gone through them, modified them a little bit, dyed them, done different things. No problem. Now, I know that we're dealing with mystery steel. I get it, people. This stuff's coming in from Japan or China or whatever in the hell it's coming from. And basically, you're going to get what you're going to get. I'm not a hard knife user. I don't depend on that knife to cut boxes every day or to do anything in my job or so forth. So, with that said, all I need is a good, decent knife that I occasionally get out of my pocket. Now, I have an extensive knife collection. I've been into this for about 6 months hard, and I've got well over 100 knives. And the majority of them, the vast majority of them, are name brand knives. And I believe in supporting that. But I'll be damned if I'm going to give you $300 for two pieces of plastic and a blade. I'm just not going to do it. So that's my soapbox today for the knives. Benchmade is way overpriced. I do not feel guilty about buying any knockoffs at all in their case. Do I have some real Benchmades? Absolutely, I sure do. Same way with Crenshaw. Their prices are actually affordable, but I do have some of both. I have knockoffs and real McCoys. And oh, yeah, by the way, I do have some real Benchmades. I don't even remember what they are at this point. I'm so aggravated with them. Let's talk about guns. That doesn't ever seem to come up, a copy of something. It seems like when a production model is getting up in age and it's very old and it's been around for a while, like a Beretta 92, many countries have copied that gun, including Taurus. Does anybody scream and yell and carry on about their copying? No. Taurus has copied numerous revolvers made by Smith and Wesson. They've come out with some ingenious stuff of their own as well, but nobody seems to be upset or crying about that. I can't really think of any other gun manufacturers off the top of my head I would consider doing clones or copies. I know they're out there. I know one of the first guns I got was a copy. I think it was, what was the name of it? It was an old Beretta style, but it doesn't matter. It was a Hellwing or something like that. It was a direct copy of one of the original Beretta pistols, but you get what you can afford. If you can afford a $600 knife and you're rich, go for it, dude. You know, I got my fair share of crap that I've bought over the years that probably I'm paying too much for. But, if you can only afford a $50 or $30 or a $10 knife, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's going to function and do what you want it to do for the most part. I've got a bunch of knives stacked up to do reviews on. Hopefully, I'll start these this week. That's the plan. As you can see, I still have scrolling at the bottom testing my first live stream. This is actually my second, just to clarify things. Oh, actually, that's the wrong banner, guys. Son of a bitch. Let's change that. Let's get rid of that. Oh, that's not right either. You see, I'm still learning all this crap. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm being a dummy. Turn that off. What's the other one say? My first podcast. Well, I need to change those. So sorry. Forgive me. As you can see, I'm not going to edit this or anything else. This is kind of like an experiment for my live streams that are going to be coming out here soon. So I'm not cutting any of these podcasts, and I'm not censoring them, and I'm not changing them in any way, shape, or form. I'm leaving them as they are, simply because, screw it. This is it. But any topics you'd like to talk about or anything you want to go over, I would love to do that. I hope to get some type of audience and some feedback. I realize this is a very slow process. I don't know that I have enough personality or talent, for lack of a better word, to interest you people in watching me. I keep looking up at the screen. Forgive me for that as well. I'm supposed to be looking at this camera here. And my new setup will have 4 cameras total, and I should screw that up totally in the first few live streams. So look forward to that. I like to gain a little popularity and some respect. That's about the only thing I'm looking to do here. But back to the original subject of the knives. Enjoy what you got. And if that's all you can get, just get that. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? If you ask me what steel there is on a knife, I couldn't tell you. I never look. I look at the style, I look at the handle, and I look at the function. The steel is the last thing in my mind because 99% of what these are going to be are in a showcase, just sitting as part of a collection, just like my guns. I have several guns that I've never shot. I've got knives that I know I'll never use and pass on. I'm just an old guy. So I don't have long on this world. So I'm trying to make the best of the time I've got left. And it's a challenge. I'm going to tell you, it's not the easiest thing, especially if you're married. Hope she doesn't hear that. But at any rate, I appreciate anybody that's tuned in and taking the time to actually look at the podcast and or listen to it. I'm going to try to keep the visuals to a minimum on here simply because the people that are listening can't see them. I'm trying to format what I'm doing basically after the We Like Shooting podcast. I don't know if you've seen those guys. There's 4 of them. They go over gun content. It's pretty interesting. It's entertaining, basically what it is. And it makes my Monday night something to look forward to. They've got an hour podcast earlier in the day or first. And then later after that one, they got a 2-hour one. And I'm going to bring that up on the screen at some point and just go over some of the things I enjoy about that show and other ones as well. I believe in sharing the content from other people that you enjoy watching and that you strive to work toward being more like, not as a copy or as a clone, but because you appreciate the work and effort they're putting into it. And believe me, I will tell you, I've been doing this now. I don't know how long, but I've really put an effort into it since the beginning of summer, and it's paying off. I went from 38 subscribers. I checked this morning, I'm at 409. To me, that's a pretty significant gain, and I appreciate each and every one that's done it or a like or anything else. But it is work. Like this one today, it's a challenge for me to get in here and work on this today. I'm having some physical issues. I'm having some mental issues, obviously. My I got a shit show here on the table. I put a short up. If you guys want to see anything that it looks like, it's on my page and it's on a short and you can go check it out. But once I get it all buttoned up and done, which hopefully will happen no later than tomorrow, because I'll have everything up here to finish it up. I think I've got all the cords and all the connections, the audio and everything. And hopefully everything just works out just perfectly. But it should be going pretty good by that point. Again, if there's anything at all that you guys want me to discuss or do, let me know. The live streams I hope to be interesting. I'm sure I'll get some flack. Sure, I'll get some jackasses, but I'll take them. If anybody takes the time to click on and watch, I'll sit there and let them abuse me or anything they want to do. I don't care. As long as I get a couple people that would click in and at least sit in the chat would be awesome. And I'm so afraid to do the live stream for that fact because I feel like I'm going to be sitting there talking to the screen just like I'm doing now. Although with the live stream, I am going to go over some knives and some different things. I've got some handles to put on some knives or scales, and this what they're really called, I guess. And some little tricks and stuff. I got some sharpening things that I want to go over. I am going to strive to bring you guys interesting content if at all possible. And I'm not going to be politically correct. I'm sorry. I don't know how to do it. This world today we live in is so screwed up, it's not even funny. The young people today don't have the inclination to do anything. They just want to sit around and play on their phones or have no ambition. That's the bottom line, ambition. I don't even think they understand the definition of ambition. The lack thereof. And that's a real challenge because it won't be my problem. I'll be dead and gone, but man, they got some serious issues coming down the road. I mean, serious issues. It just thinking about it's even just tough. And I know you old guys, that's who I'm really looking to pull in here is all you old fuckers. Oh, by the way, just so you know, and I'm running out of time here, I got about 2 minutes left. My grandson had a great idea. He wants me to I play one game. I'm physically impaired on this side a little bit, and I can't really use a controller for a gamer. And I found this shooting game that I absolutely love. Some sniper, a preview sniper, or so. I'll put it up here at some point. The thing that is interesting to me about the whole situation is that he said you should stream that and go over the game and tell people about it. Now, I got to thinking about it. There's people in my position that only have one hand that may work or may not even have two hands. I happen to know somebody like that. And they compensate very well, but it's hard to do some things, just period. It's hard to do some things. So what I would do is suggest this because it could be played with the mouse. One hand, no problem. That's all you need. And it's a relatively easy game in the grand scheme of things, but it's a sniper game and it's a shooting sniper game. And it's fun as crap. I play it about 4 times a day. I like it because it limits how many times you can play. You got to come back and earn the points to play again to recharge your battery, for lack of a better term. That's what they refer to it as. But anyway, I'm going to do a stream with that at some point and show it. And he thinks that will, get some attention. Of course, I'll get some kids in there that'll probably go, "What's that old guy doing?" or something like that. But I don't give a shit. But if I can bring some humor to some other guys my age and they can relate and they can get on there and shoot as well, they might have a blast. I'm a ham radio operator, and some of these people in nursing homes can't have all their equipment and everything else. So there is some web-based online radio communication software that will allow them to talk to the world. So at least it's not the real deal, but you know what? it keeps them in interacting and moving forward and enjoying, what time they have left. And speaking of that, I'm out of time. Thank everybody that's tuned in. I really appreciate it. Again, the YouTube channel is What Dugan Thinks. I'm on Instagram as well. I do photography there. Look for the podcast and the live streams to come soon. Thanks for your time. I really do appreciate it. Whoops. You're still with me.